to meet you, Dave.
Hey, how's it going?
What's the name of the shop again? And there's Lauren
Final
also.
Details Customs.
Final Details Customs in Elmer, Ontario. And where can they find you on Instagram?
Just look up Final Details Customs on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're on all.
And you got a big following, you say, on social media, yeah?
We've got about 25,000 followers.
Beautiful, man. They'll see. Hi, Mama Iron Ranger. Can you guys see me? Can you see me now, Mr. Green Thumb? I just went on their Wi-Fi. I don't know why the fuck I didn't when I first got here, but sometimes I ain't the smartest cat I know. I try. Okay, I'm not gonna go no more further until somebody tells me if they can see me. And then I'll flip the camera back. All right, beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Green Thumb. So the whole time I did the intro, could you hear but you couldn't see? Because I want to show you this bike again and these other stuff that Dave's working on too. I'm glad you guys are here, man. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera. I want to show you this bike again. I'll get her up nice and close. Try to avoid the reflection of the lights.
And this one's actually been on the road for a year already, so.
And he rides it? He puts smiles on, doesn't sit in his garage?
No, he actually takes her. Yeah,
Nice.
I think it just won an award at the car show.
Yeah, I think it was best in show or something.
Nice. Did you guys have any stone chips you had to fix out of her?
No, it's actually been.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the only thing was there was
nice,
a little bit of a mark on the fender for repair and from the installation, but other than that, it's like this thing has stood up really well.
And you guys, again, get on his Instagram and see all of his work. Now that we can see. And this golf cart is going to be a grave digger, man. It's going to be fucking wicked. So he's going to keep showing us some stuff. And we got another piece. It doesn't have to be Harley's. Oh, yeah, and there's Dave and Lauren in case you guys didn't get to see them the first half an hour. I'm sorry, guys. Doesn't got to be Harley's. Look at this piece. What this is off the back of the back of the street bike, right?
Yes.
Over the back tire. I don't know if it's called a fender anymore when it's kind of shaped like that. Is it called a fender?
Tail fender is what I typically call it.
Oh, and look at that piece.
Probably something else.
So you guys can, yeah, man. The work is outstanding, and that piece hasn't even got as clear made shiny. This one's made shiny already. Except for, is that because it's two separate pieces?
Yeah,
That's all?
the original, the bottom part had been destroyed, so there was a whole bunch of damage on the bottom. So I've just merged the bottom now to the outside so that I could fill all the detail in between and make it look like it was all one piece.
Oh, did you catch that one? So the back tire had exploded, and this piece here was broken, and then Dave fixed it back up and matched up the artwork. I think that's incredible. And then that's just for plotting it out on the computer then? Or is it for a whole bunch of stuff?
For which?
What do you do on the PC then?
I'm just using it for reference. at
Oh,
this
it's just
point.
for reference.
This had no photos other than that for the rear end, so I just had to, you know.
Fuck, you're lucky you even had
Look real
that.
close.
It's not even much of a photo really to go off, is it?
No, it was a little confusing at first, but after you
I'm
kind of get
confused.
going.
I'm confused looking. I go, what is that?
Good luck telling me I don't have the thing in the right place, though. I mean, I think I got it pretty close.
Yeah, man. You lined all those pieces up incredible. So that's cool. I'm hoping you guys got all that. Hey, how are you, Rob? Good to see you, bro. Thanks for dropping in.
Did you want to go get the
And there's
the
some more of
lizard
his
fairing
artwork
and
there,
Eddie's?
guys.
Wipe them down.
For the whole time I had the Wheel of Death on. I'm glad we got past the Wheel of Death. That's awesome. So you got into it because you had hip problems and you had your son and all that. How's your son now?
15 now.
So you've been doing this a minute.
I have. Yeah. I'm just about me in it. About 15 years almost.
15 years?
Yeah.
And it's actually fed the family, no problem?
It does at time to time. I mean, I didn't go seriously hard into it until 2020. That's when I kind of went nuts, right? But before that, I mean, yeah, it fed the bills here and there, but it's a very expensive trade. Like when you think about
Materials.
costs of the tools, right? Because I use a ton of airbrushes and a ton of different paint guns, and yeah, I mean it's a pretty costly that way, and maintenance on like a needle for my things are like 50.
Oh, there's all the small guns there that you use. So different guns for like different thicknesses and
Yeah.
all sorts of different things.
Yeah, depending on also we've got guns for different products, solvent, water base,
Oh, right.
so that way
right.
we're not cross
Yeah,
contaminating.
no
between the
sense
two.
mess. Yeah. They don't have very big cups, do they?
No.
They give you, actually, probably, how long do you think you can go out of a cup? It changes from
Depends.
thickness.
Yeah, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a flood fill color, you're typically gonna be in and out in 10 minutes. If I'm doing like airbrush white detail or black detail, I could run on a brush for about an hour, hour and a half.
And how did that guy get his bike to you? Did he bring it to you?
Yeah, he trailered that down.
Nice. So you don't got to live in Elmer or even Elgin County or even in London to come on down here and see Dave. This bike came from up by Midland, Ontario.
We get quite a few. Whenever it is something that's a very difficult repair, I find it comes in
To you?
from a distance. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't really turn a lot of them away because I can mimic other airbrush artists, right? So I've been doing art long enough that I can reverse engineer techniques and usually get a pretty close match like that one, right? Like,
Yeah.
even though I wasn't the original, it's not even close to the style art that I normally do. I can mimic it and reverse engineer it to try to get it fairly close. So I've had a couple of bikes for Wizard, another airbrush artist that I've had to do repair work on. This gentleman's and a couple more. So
So you got no problem just doing the damaged piece and leave the rest if it's fine and they're happy with it, just leave it.
I like the challenge. I like the challenge of taking on something that's difficult.
But you're not saying don't bring it to me unless I can do the whole thing, you know? Yeah.
I do lots between both repair as well as the new.
Yeah, and yeah, and we kind of discussed that off camera too. So there's lots of different ways when somebody starts coming to you. Sometimes they just say, "Here's my budget, and this is kind of what I'm after." And sometimes they pick you and say, you know, listen, here's a photo of my old fire hall I used to work at.
Yeah.
And or you know my dog that you know, and then you go from that.
Yeah, so like usually it's one of those two ways. They'll either show up with a very specific idea, I want this, and then I can give them an estimate of that. Or they'll come to me with, okay, I want this theme, these colors, this is my budget, here's the amount of pieces, do what you can, go.
Like that
Right.
bike you had, that one with the Hulk on it.
Mm-hmm.
You spent how long was that here for? You seem to have that for a few months, eh?
The Hulk bike that I did, that was a couple months, yes.
So that if they're really detailed and they got a lot of pieces,
Yeah.
then you're best to get it done in the off season, obviously.
Yeah,
It's a
most
few
guys
bikes,
that are
right?
getting their winter stuff done are usually booked either like usually up by now, right? I do have like a couple spaces left this season, just because we were able to clear out a lot of the backlog once we got the booth installed.
Oh, nice.
So we're pounding through jobs like 3 times speed now. We never had the option to
And
run our own booth.
how many goalie masks have you done? Because I've seen a few of them on your post too.
Oh, probably hundreds
Hundreds.
by now. Yeah.
You must have done every kid's goalie helmet in Elgin County by now.
Well, we've serviced as far as Sweden when it comes to goalie masks.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been sending them out everywhere.
So
over the
they
last few
ship them
years.
from Europe, will they?
Yeah, we do.
That's fucking beautiful, man. That says a lot about your work when they know about you overseas. That's not a bad thing at all, man.
We like it. Keeps us busy.
Hell yeah. No, you got to be proud of yourself, man. It's hard making an art into a paying business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's actually a very difficult thing.
Because a lot of artists don't have a business head, and a lot of business heads don't have an artist.
It's very true.
You know what I mean? It's hard to have both.
Yes, and because I think as an artist, you become an artist because you get a passion for something, right? Like I have a passion for creating custom things. I was a car audio tech for years.
Yeah.
Right, so building show cars and and doing sound
Did
systems.
you do all the
and
boxes
competition.
with the ports and all that stuff?
Absolutely. That's where I
Yeah.
started for all my fiberglass repair work.
That's what I was gonna say. That'll
Right.
get you fiberglass in.
Yeah, we were doing interior rebuilds, everything when I was
Oh.
younger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I came from that world and loving creating stuff to that world to then adding the artistic side, right? And I also have an electronics background, so I do security, I do lighting, control system, fiber optics, telecom.
You still
name
do
it.
cars?
Oh yeah, we do it from time to time.
You ever hear of a place called 12 Volt Audio up on Steeles Ave
But I have not.
in
No.
North York? They do all that stuff. And like you were just explaining, you know, like the post for the front windshield,
Mm-hmm.
they'll fiberglass in some speakers, some high-end speakers into
The A
those.
pillar,
Yeah, that's it, in the pillar, yeah.
Yeah, we've did quite a few of those back in the years. I came from Vancouver. I was an old Future Shop tech back in the
Oh,
day.
back in those days,
Yeah.
Future Shop. I remember them guys.
Yep, I was Vancouver and Scott Road, Surrey. I was their tech. I went to Langley, and then I went to Geek Squad. I was a home theater installer for them for years.
Right, because that came hot.
Yeah, I did 2010 Olympics. We did a ton of jobs for the 2010 Olympics.
Oh, that would have been fun.
I was doing a bus conversion for camera systems as well for the 2010 Olympics.
Right on.
They had to monitor all the buses that were going to be traveling up to the events. So we had to install like 10 cameras per bus, and it was a huge retrofit project we took
Wow.
on up there, yeah.
Well, the cameras that show the inside of the bus and
Yep.
just show what's going on around it.
And we also had to do a G-force sensing system and a camera uploading system. So when it docked at the terminal, it would upload all the footage from the ride and upload it to the main network. So
For them to get some video clips.
yeah.
Interesting, eh?
So I've been through a bunch of different industries, and I've kind of merged it all with doing the custom stuff.
Yeah.
I can pretty much build anything. It just as long as we have a plan, I can build it.
That's really cool that you got that touch too. So you got a little construction, so you know how to make things so they don't fall apart, and then because it's hard, like you say that when you said I got a passion, because usually when somebody says I got a passion, then dollars and cents go out the window.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
100%. And that is a problem, right? So it's hard to tell somebody that this is what it's going to cost when, like, in your heart you're like, oh man, I would do this shit for free.
Yeah.
But you can't do it when, you know, it's like, oh, I'll do it for free. Turn around and your partner's looking at you going, we've got bills.
Yeah, exactly. We got shit to pay, bro. Look at that. That's a fucking great job.
We did that for the company Blizzard Entertainment.
What do they do?
They actually made the video game Diablo 4 and World of Warcraft, and
So they're building a bike?
no, they paid me just to do a video of the creation of that wing for the launch of Diablo 4.
So what are they gonna do with the Batwing?
Nothing. They just wanted the video.
That's really cool. So now you guys get a Batwing.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
have that up for sale, I believe, online.
Look at how good that work is. And this is the artwork is based around their video game.
Yep. Their creative team sent me a bunch of artwork that they wanted me to include.
I love it. The gargoyle guy, I love that guy in the end there. Yeah, man. That's really cool. And that chick, remember that movie Heavy Metal? She
Yeah.
reminds me of that chick, or a chick that would be on that movie.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. That movie was like, when you come to old weird artwork back in the, what was that, 70s or 80s?
Yeah.
Like that was the first stuff that was like, wow, look at that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, the chicks flying lizards and weird shit. It was,
That was a great movie. I
Yeah.
still watch that. I put movies on while I work, and that's one of the movies that frequents these screens for sure.
oh yeah? Well,
Absolutely.
it would get your creative process going.
Absolutely.
A movie like that, for sure. And there's a couple of Goldie masks, the mock-ups. Is that what you call this step, the
Yeah,
mock-up?
this is a paper mock-up that I'm currently working on. So this just kind of lays it out kind of to scale roughly where the graphics are going to go and what sizes they're going to be. This is kind of like a planning mode, and then once this is all good, then essentially at this point, then I would move into cutting out my hard masks and start laying them down.
This would be for a club out there that's looking for different ideas for fundraisers. this would be a good idea for fundraiser stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Not they could do like a gift certificate sort of thing to your guys' shop, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because there's a million kids out there playing hockey. I bet you they all want some kind of crazy. Oh, look at that guy. Oh, that's really cool, man. So that's the paint you use makes it go like that, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, we can use UV paint.
I use
Declose.
reactive paint when we need to.
I think that's fucking. Oh, look at that. That's the name of the paint job, eh?
It's actually the name of the crew that it was for.
Oh, is this one like just a promo one-off sort of thing too?
No, it was one of my best friends. He made a little riding group, and that was
Oh.
his name for his
Nice.
running group.
That's what I try to do a lot on my channel about is riding groups and riding clubs and stay away from the outlaw clubs. I used to be in the outlaw clubs, right? And you know the negative press and the Sons of Anarchy and all that bullshit. So now I'm trying to get my channel to show that there's another side to bikers, which is raising money, getting money for cancer, money for vets, money for dog shelters. They're always out there doing something for some charity.
Absolutely.
And way more than you got guys out there running around breaking the law.
That is true.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Jordan. Yeah, he's an incredible artist, eh? That is awesome. Especially that theater mask guy, too. Well, I've never seen paint that glowed before. So what would you put under lights to make him glow?
Yeah, you could have UV lights. If you're wanting to mount on your bike, you could put a UV and make it react while you're driving.
That'd be wicked, eh? Or even on the turnstile at a bike show.
Yeah, we
With
can even
UV
get
lights on
the electrified paint, the Tron paint, the stuff that truly glows when you add electricity.
So you add a current through the actual paint?
Yeah, you lay down basically it's an electrified primer with leads of power.
Yeah.
And then when you flick your switch, it actually illuminates the paint. So we can actually get that from Los Angeles, and it can be laid on, and we can illuminate pretty much any artwork if you wanted.
Holy shit, man.
We've got
That'd
a
be
ton of products
wicked
that we've used
cool.
over the years.
Yeah, man. So, well, yeah, because you're already talking about the old school stuff, the House of Color stuff. That was the stuff they painted every hot rod in the 60s and 70s with House of Color.
Yeah.
And
Very
then,
cool.
then you talked about the waterborne stuff. And I didn't know they had electric paint. That's incredible. Actually, I didn't know they had UV reactive paint either. That's pretty cool in itself.
We do a lot of the glow and dark paint stuff as well for goalie masks, because kids like when they get out of the lights, when they turn on the lights, they'll have the UV going, and their helmets will react right on the ice. So it's a really cool effect.
I dig it. Yeah, that's a Mr. Green Thumb. Yes, it's black light paint. I remember the old black light pictures you used to get of Elvis and stuff. And you put the purple light on it.
Yeah.
We've got some, in my trade, we got some UV reactive dyes that we use for small leaks in refrigeration units.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we put the UV light to it and it's, oh, there's the leak, you naughty.
100%.
Usually you find with soap and water. So what's the other parts of the shop used for? Is it, or this is the best place?
This is pretty much where most of the artwork done. We do have a polishing and a detailing
Oh, yeah.
side. Most of the other side of the shop is still under construction, just because we're trying to get ready for bike season. We've got a whole bunch of stuff coming in. So we're overhauling, we're installing new lights, a new floor, new walls out there. So
Oh, wow.
it's all under construction.
And like, will you guys, you guys don't mind if somebody brings in a car that you haven't touched and asks you to cut it and polish it?
Oh yeah, we do it quite often.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, eh? With that wheel?
She's actually a master polisher. She's She does most of our fine, like our show polishing stuff is her because she's so meticulous at it.
But it's a ton of work, eh? Like getting it how you want it to be.
Yeah.
And in those funny little angles where the wheel doesn't want to go.
She's the only one patient enough for that. I can do the art side, like yeah, that's fine. But when it comes to polishing, she's the.
I don't even like having to tape off the windows because if you don't, the compound goes everywhere and it's hard to get off. Because you do the compound in stages, right? Grittiest and then finer and finer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that stuff. Like I said, I grew up around cars and bikes and stuff, mostly cars, but, you know, and then when I started riding, it's like, oh, you can do all the same stuff you can do to a car on a bike. It's just less tin. It's just less acreage to work with, I guess, right?
I don't know. I find that like when you want a cool bike, you gotta go to the right guys though, because some guys don't put the time and quality in, right? So finding a good bike shop is hard. We work a lot with like DG Customs out in Elmer here.
Oh, yeah.
They're one of the best bike builders that we've had the opportunity to work with. But like, yeah, like we find that working with them has been nice because we can count on the work we're getting.
Good. And you guys get to give a little of your own flair?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's important when you're an artist, eh?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just did a bike for them, a Ghost Rider bike.
Oh, you did?
That one's gonna be probably on the road, hopefully within the next few weeks. So we'll have a bunch of video on our pages for that as well. I'll send you some
Beautiful.
pics when we get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Hey, Bobby, thanks for joining us. We're checking out an airbrush shop today. Yeah, man, I'm digging it. The stuff is great. What else I want to ask you about? There's a million questions. Now they're all floating off my head for a minute there. So, oh yeah, D&G. So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So you can get some guys that are into it because, like you have a passion about it. Then you get some guys that can kind of, unfortunately, make things cookie cutter. And you can always tell what came out of that one particular shop, because you know what I mean. You know,
Yeah.
if you cookie cutter, but you guys put your own touch. Like the stuff you do is incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Okay, chat. What do you guys got? You got some questions for Dave? Is Primitives Airbrush or the business name? Primitives. Do you know what? Have you ever heard of Primitives? It must be the airbrush name, Mr. Green Thumb. Because if it was like a product, you would have probably heard about it if it was in the airbrush world, right? That's what he's asking, if it's a product or if it's the business. My Rangers, PNC field trip. Make sure you have your permission slip signed. Hey, this is my first time on the road. I think once I got on the Wi-Fi, I like doing this. Grant says great custom work. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you won't have any. Nobody will disagree with that. And it's not. And Dave already spoke to me about this, and I knew this coming into it, that the shop isn't full because, you know, he's going to do his projects as they come. He's not going to load up the shop to talk to me for an hour one night. But I said, that's okay. We're going to go with what you got. And he showed us lots of cool work and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Him talking about the name above them.
Oh,
Primetime Airbrush. Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
where I started. It was
Oh.
so when I first started airbrushing, I was gonna go with Primetime Airbrush, but I eventually ended up changing it and going with we were the Art Den.
Then you were the
for a
art
long
den.
time.
Yeah.
But the reason I went that way is because I didn't want a business to be central around me. I wanted the business to be central around the custom and the paint side and the art side.
That's your nickname, right? Primetime?
Yeah, that's been my nickname since I was a kid, right?
Oh.
So I was like, you know what? I want it to be more about everybody. I want to bring in artists and train artists and develop, you know, a style for our company instead of just having something that was just everyone just thought about it and it was mind work, right?
Are you
Because
bringing someone in to train them?
She's already trained.
Oh, okay, but yeah, okay. So between the two of you, now does your work look like Dave's work?
so,
Are you-
not,
do you-
not yet. I'm getting there.
But-
Dave's, I would say, is more detailed because he's had more of the hours to clock in to get the practice.
Sure.
I'm still learning in that regard, but
But does your work have like a bit of your personality?
yeah, it does
Yeah.
absolutely. So like a lot of the goalie masks that have recently gone out, minus the bear one skull you did, most of them I've been working with the simplistic ones. So the moose one I did, the SpongeBob with the dog, blue dog on the top, that one I did recently.
Was that for a kid or an adult?
That was both for a kid actually, yeah.
Yeah.
The kids always have the most fun themes and the most like out there ideas.
I
They're
love it,
actually- they're
SpongeBob,
fun,
eh?
They're fun to do actually. So a lot of the cartoon work I'll do because that's a lot of my style.
I can't stand that style, so
You don't like cartoony
I'm
stuff?
not a cartoony
You,
guy.
you like more like skulls and
I like realism.
Dave's-
I like things that are more detailed and have lighting and depth and yeah. I just when it comes to cartoons, I can't get over the hours of block filling. It's
Yeah.
Just, yeah. I'd rather just.
well,
build
they
it.
they have lots of solid color, all the same color, don't
Yeah.
they? With really no change in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's really good. Even with brushwork, she's pro when it comes to doing the actual line work.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's been a nice compliment because I stay more to the custom, the detailed side, and she'll do a lot of the cartoon or graphic side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, right. Because the same thing. Graphic is like
The different patterns and things you see.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
process most of the time. Just with the cartooning, you add a little shadow or highlight or whatnot to the thing to make it look more 3D.
I bet you that SpongeBob one. I don't know why that one makes me laugh. Hey Lulu, thanks for coming along. We're at Dave and Lauren's shop. These guys are airbrushers in Elmer, Ontario. I don't know how much of the video you saw, so you show you some more of their work. And it's Final Detail Customs, right? I get it right? Yeah, I remembered. Oh, I like that lady. That one's really cool. And we're lucky because there's no lights bouncing off it. But see, even got some shape in her cheekbone and all that stuff, right? Yeah. That's the stuff that makes you know what kind of artist you got. I like that side too. That side looks really cool. Oh, it's like a monster guy. He looks like he's the guy of death, right?
One's the demon and one's an angel.
On the two sides?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's a demon and he's an angel.
He's an angel.
Yeah.
It's from the video game.
Well, again, yeah, and it's all based on that one video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, that's what I said. Wonder how much tape went into that art. Oh, you mean when he's taping off and changing colors? How much? A lot?
No, that was
Is,
done
is that a
freehand.
thing?
That's freehand all that.
That one was freehand.
Oh, so when you freehand, you just
Yeah.
and you change color and all that, and
Just draw it on and then airbrush over top.
Yeah.
nice.
I do that quite a bit. Yeah.
And again, you see, my head goes back to tattoos because those were the tattoo artists I like to have the best. Where I would come in, just give them an idea. I went in and I said, I want a gangster arm. And he just made me whatever. An old guy looks like he might be a gangster, an old car that might have been like Bonnie and Clyde, whatever, right? so Tommy Gunn silhouette guys. I don't know, but I liked it.
For sure.
And that's the best way to do it. That's what I think. I think if I was bringing you a piece, I would say I want this theme, and just what you come up with is what you come up with.
I like that most because it's when you have too much narrowing of an idea, right? It's sometimes it's hard to really make it speak to people that are seeing it. It's hard to make it's hard to really drive and bring it to life if you're finding that you're being too controlled. I don't know. I like it when guys say, okay, this is how much time I have as far as a budget, and this is the themes and the colors. But I can go both ways either way.
Yeah, because like you said, a lot of people put like a dog that passed or something on this.
Memorial stuff is
Yeah,
quite common,
memorial
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
We've done quite a few memorial pieces over the years.
Yeah, because it's big, right? Especially in the motorcycle community.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most of us in the motorcycle community have someone that didn't make a home one day off a ride, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So yeah, and you got to make it respectful. And I met that guy in Alberta. He's got two now, motorcycle hearse.
Oh wow.
So he gives people the last ride from the church service to the graveyard, a ride on the motorcycle, man.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's cool.
cool, eh? Now, did you guys get, like, besides your customers and stuff, did you guys get involved with the motorcycle community? Did you ride and all that?
I rode for years, but with my right hip failing, I couldn't put my weight down and hold the bike up anymore. So I had to unfortunately step aside. I'm hoping that eventually I can buy a trike and get back out because it was one of my favorite things to do is ride.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's physically, medically, I'm just not able to handle it anymore. So.
And you're not that old. How come your hips went on you? They just one of those things?
I had a major hidden pinning, like a hip pinning. They call it slip femoral epiphysis when I was
Oh.
13. So they pinned my hip into place, and by the time I was 20, the pins had broken. So then they had to replace the hip, and then they replaced it again. So I've had like 3 major hip surgeries.
And now you're saying it's failing again?
Now it's failing again.
Are you gonna go back in and get it one more time?
No, the other one's failing too, so they need to do a lot of work, and if I go in, they're gonna have to put bars in my back and stuff, and I won't
Oh
do it.
man.
I'd rather deal with pain than not
So-
be able to spend time with my kids and play sports with my kids.
You'll be laid up for a while if they do all that work in there, won't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I don't take much time off. I work like 14 hours a day most of the time.
Well, lots and lots of your guys is posted late at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most nights we don't get out of here till midnight or beyond,
Later.
right? A lot of it's just because by that point everyone stops messaging my phone and
Yeah.
stops messaging and phoning and wanting to talk and discuss things. Everyone now would go to bed, so I could just get straight hours of punching work in. So that's usually when we get a lot of the high detail stuff down.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes total sense. Hey, Chris Leach, thanks for dropping in, bro. When did you join? Did you get to see any of Dave's work? I'm gonna spin us through the shop one more time through his work. What we got to look at. And you're in America, aren't you, Chris? Are you in the climates where they play hockey, Chris? He does goalie mask, bro. As far away as Sweden. There's one mocked up with the paper just to help lay it out and to size the stuff that they're putting on it and all that. You know what I'm saying? And then he's got this guy here glows in the UV light, which I think is fucking cool. And this is the same fairing. And then that's the other side of the same fairing. Pretty cool work, eh? Hockey is badass. Oh, you're Washington State? Yeah, you guys play hockey in Washington State. You got the Seattle Kraken, isn't that it?
Yeah, I've actually done.
We done actually one that was supposed to be like that. Yeah, we did it for a person out of Sarnia. I guess was a girlfriend wanted to do something for her boyfriend, so we ended up doing the Seattle Kraken, the whole like Cthulhu over the mask.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool.
No, the Kraken came from one of those crazy movies, right? Like 3000. Is it supposed to be a monster?
It was Clash of the Titans.
Is that what the Kraken is? It's
I
supposed to
believe
be a
it was,
monster?
Yeah, it's a giant.
Yeah, or the what is that?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Sparrow, Pirates of the Caribbean
Yeah.
movies. There's
Yeah.
a Kraken in that too.
Oh, okay. And then he does sport bikes too, and he can repair fiberglass and all that. This is the back fender of a sport bike that came apart, and then he had to match up existing paint from what didn't explode apart and match it up and put it back together again. Which I think you could agree that he nailed it pretty good there, man.
Yeah, color matching that was a nightmare.
Yeah, I bet, eh?
Yeah, it took almost 2 weeks of fighting with the colors to try to get, because the guy snuck a blue purple in it.
I was gonna say, I bet you anything that's a cocktail paint, isn't it?
It is.
It's not a
in
number
the
one.
middle of the process, he laid down a blue purple,
Did-
but he
did-
didn't do it everywhere.
Did your scanner find it?
No.
No.
Everything I did was by eye.
Did you have any luck with those scanners?
No.
No.
I do mostly everything by eye now.
And you know, like my buddy used to do insurance work on cars, and open the door and the paint code's right there, right?
Yeah.
But the paint code, after it's been in the sun for 2 years, is not matching what it came
No.
when it comes out of the gun.
And then on top of that, you've got artwork. So the different colors will change often.
Right.
This guy used 3 different types of blue in the thing, but unfortunately, you don't find that out until you start getting into it and start realizing when you match the colors how to match it. And yeah, he used a little bit of blue mixed in with the white. He used a drop, shadowing of blue and purple in some areas.
But he made a nice blue.
It's a beautiful
Yeah,
color. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's hard as can be. I think he probably did it on purpose to make it difficult to match, but.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make 100% sense. Yeah, because like I say, my buddy's best paint jobs came out of Cocktail once, and they had no code for them.
Yeah.
And then let me show you this bike. This bike is a show winner, we think, right? We think it's a show winner. It's from up north of Toronto way. And he did this bike over a year ago. And it got rode. It didn't sit in the garage. He put this bike on the highway. And he's won some shows. And now it's just back here getting what's called a cut and polish again. And if you're new to the automotive paint world, cut and polish is just a really, really fine sandpaper over it. And then you hit it with those polishing compounds. And you save the paint for years to come if you keep doing it on a regular basis. And then it'll smooth out any cracks in the clear coats and stuff like that too. Because if anything gives a crack, usually on a paint job, it's a clear coat, is it not?
Most of the time, there are times where the paint and everything will shrink back because maybe they didn't sand their primer properly.
Yeah.
I've seen that where paint will crack and it will shrivel back and you can still see the primer through it. Usually it's because there's no adhesion between the base coat and the primer.
Right.
They let the thing sit for too long and they didn't reopen it up before they applied paint.
So what are you down to then? Are you sanding the paint back off then?
Yeah, you got them right back down to primer.
You starting over.
Get rid of everything that's failed, yeah. We've seen that quite a bit on cars that we've had to repair. We've had a couple ones that came in that had seen some really bad days.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had to strip it all back and start from square one.
And some I've seen him have to do a couple in my buddy's body shop where he even had to get the primer off the car.
Yep, right. We go straight down to metal quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's usually best if the client's willing to wait and willing to invest in the time, then we prefer to go right down to square metal.
Because you don't know what kind of primer they use. It might have been a crappy product at the very start.
For sure.
Which
we
makes the
prefer
very
to
end.
epoxy prime everything. Like once we've cleared up all the metal, we always epoxy prime to seal everything back so that way you don't get rust issues and issues down the line.
Okay, I get it.
We use good quality primers. I find if you want a good strong job, you have to use a good quality primer underneath and then do your work on top.
And it's all about using good material will give you a good outcome.
For sure.
At the end, yeah. 100%. What do you got? He's a professional airbus artist. He fucking is. Spear, my favorite front. Yeah. I know, that is a beautiful bike, eh? Yes, thank you, Chris. Rewind and hit the like button. Not into the dark imagery, but that's some damn good work. Well, that's the other good thing, right? William, by the way, thanks for joining us, William. I don't think I've met you on the chat before. Thanks for coming in.
We do both happy and dark artwork, just letting you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
The dark just gets more likes, I'll be honest. It just gets further reach.
That is funny, because that's true, eh?
It's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do something beautiful. I can do majestic, eagle, like wolf, landscape, and it's like you see it in person and it's breathtaking. Everyone loves it. You put it online, you get 2 likes. I do a skull with flames. I get 35, 40 likes, no problem.
A dagger sticking
I
out of his
spent 20
eye.
minutes on the skull and flames, and I spent 3 days on the wolf. But I got way more views on the skull.
100%. That is funny. That's true. That's true. Mouth of the South. Thanks for joining us tonight, Mouth of the South. I like your comment. He said, "Hello, sickos." You've been here before. Grant, yeah. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, what did I miss? Did we miss anything while we were talking?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We've talked about a lot of stuff.
And is there any like specific points you guys want to say?
We are actually getting started on building our own YouTube channel series.
Very cool.
So we have a gentleman that his name is Patrick. He was the director of photography for Michael Moore. He did the Sicko documentary.
Oh, nice.
So we've actually got his car on in sight here, and we're doing an airbrushing and base coat redo on the car. And he's decided that he's going to be making a YouTube series, and we're going to be the ones doing all the work on the YouTube series. So I'll be, if you follow us online, I'll be releasing that pretty quick. I think it's fastfunandfurious.com,
I think so, yeah.
I believe is the name.
Okay. Okay.
So we're gonna have all of our stuff. We're actually starting to film using shoulder cams and GoPros in the shop. So we're getting like time lapses of some of the work. So you'll see a lot more detailed stuff online if you follow us.
Perfect. So yeah, and then whenever you get any of those links, feel free to send them to me, and I'll post them up for you. You know, I'll put them on Biker News Canada.
Beautiful.
I'm trying to get my buddy to go. He loves painting bikes, and he has a shop also. Well, get him to pick up an airbrush gun and get at it. Because I've heard that most of the people that do airbrushes are self-taught. Would that be accurate?
For the most part, I would say. I mean, I never went to school. I never went for any type of art training. Everything I did was learn. She was a graphic designer. She came out of school. So she's got the technical background.
Yeah.
I taught her the practical, and she had all the technical stuff.
Yeah.
So when you're at school, like I remember way back when I was taking Fanshawe, they taught us how to plot everything. Back then it was an old bullshit program, but it would end up drawing you, like I did plans, right?
It's the same idea. We're
Yeah.
all the Adobe program, so it's the same thing. You can make vectors, do all the Photoshop stuff, which I do use for mock-ups, and then all the vector work goes towards cutting out on our plotter for all of our hard masks and stuff. So all the same
Logo
skills,
recreation.
logo recreation. So it all kind of translates over actually, so it works out perfect.
Good. And actually you got to use what you went to school for.
Yeah, actually, in a way, I never thought I would, but I'm
Yeah,
actually kind
yeah.
of happy you did it because it shows more that it's more than just the digital world. Now it's taking the digital world and putting it into practicality.
And combining the two, right?
Combining the two, which not a lot of people I found going to school, but a lot of us never got really the field work.
The
aspect.
artistic side.
Yeah, never actually really using it in process unless you're getting a job at a print shop is usually the closest place you use it. But otherwise, most things are digital.
And then some graphic artists couldn't draw a stick man. Because
I've met a
they've
few.
never had
Yeah,
to.
that's true. Some of them would just know how to use the tools well, which is still good. But
Yeah.
not everyone has an artistic background that enhances it.
Right, and you gotta have that special brain. I did art the whole time I was a kid, and I stopped doing it in college, and then my brain switched in college, and I can't draw anymore.
Really?
I would look out the window. My next door neighbor was like had stock cars at Delaware Raceway. You know the little racetrack out there?
I've been there quite a bit.
So he had a stock car, and he would trailer it home and leave it outside in his driveway on Saturday night, and then he put it away Sunday. You don't want to wake up the neighborhood on Saturday night, right? I'd wake up Sunday morning, look out the window, and I drew his car. The whole thing, put the contours in, everything, man. I can't even draw, like you say, a stick man anymore.
It's probably in there.
It's incredible,
You just
man.
have to work at it.
Well, I think I was eating a lot of acid in high school.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That could be a problem.
I gotta
Don't
get
do
back
drugs.
gotta get back into the hallucinogenics.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually funny because a lot of guys, that's a big like stigmatism in our field is most airbrush artists are like heavy drug users, right? Because
Yeah.
we've met a few in the area that like every time you talk about them, they tell you all the drugs they used to do or how, and it's like, okay, I don't fit in there.
I'm a 420 guy.
That's it. Like,
I'll
that's-
always be a 420 guy.
I work too many. That's all I do, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
I work too many hours to do anything else. I couldn't imagine.
As we get old, we can't afford to stay awake for 2-3 days in a
Right.
row. And what are you gonna do out during that time you're awake? Peek out the window?
I don't know. I have contemplated that side of it. I mean, how much airbrush work I could get done.
Yeah.
But, when you see these guys that look all strung out and they're like, I love paint. Like, yeah, you know what? I'll stick to the little 420. I'm good there.
Exactly, man. Exactly. All right, chat. You guys got any questions for Dave? I think it went as well as it could have went for me using a cell phone. I gotta buy some better equipment to do this on the road stuff, but I thank you very much for welcoming me into your shop, guys. You know, it means a lot.
No, you're very welcome.
And I hope
We followed you for a while, so.
nice, man. Are you guys still watching the group and all that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, that's right, Mr. Green Thumb. We know that what you're into, bro. It's in your name, bro. Well, all right, I'm gonna wrap up this interview, guys. I want to thank you guys all for coming on in the chat and joining me, and I'm glad that you guys waited a minute so I could get past the technical difficulties. And follow Dave and Lauren on Instagram. You're on all their socials, right? But your biggest one is Insta?
My biggest one's actually TikTok.
Oh,
We've
TikTok.
got 17.4 thousand followers on
So,
there.
so Final Detail Customs with a K.
And
right.
we put up all the videos of the in-progress airbrush work on TikTok. So.
Beautiful, beautiful. So after I leave, Dave will send me all the links, and then when I get home and I put it through the edit, I'll put all the links for Dave's social on the description, okay? And that's what we're gonna do. All right. Thank you guys very much for having me, and thank you guys for coming in the chat and checking this out. Like I say, I gotta buy some better equipment to do this, but it went as well as I could ask for, and I'm happy with it. So thanks, guys. We'll see y'all again tomorrow night. Till then, be safe out there, and good night.
Have a good night.
Night, guys.